morning and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning will begin on a man who is remembered as a drum major for justice, peace, and righteousness, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. January 15th marked what would have been Dr. King's 91st birthday, and every third Monday in January marks the King holiday. My first guest, they're here to tell us more about the 36th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday celebration. It's being held at the Marcus Performing Arts Center. Anthony D. Smith is the Director of Community Engagement and Inclusion at the Marcus Center, and Angela Gorton, she's a student at Ronald Reagan IB High School and the winner of the 9th through 10th grade speech contest. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
And Anthony, I would love for you to tell us more about this year's celebration. The theme is Your Life Has Significance. Fill us in.
We're so excited to have this event at our center again. We are celebrating our 36th annual event for this year. We're having students from Milwaukee, as well as we've included West Bend and Wauwatosa School District to participate. It's the art, writing, and speech contest. So we're, again, excited to have the students participate this year.
Yes, and this is just a great way to bring the community together and really have these young people show everyone that Dr. King's dream continues to live, because you're giving them the opportunity to learn more about him and then write these speeches. They also have the visual arts and they do poetry, different ways that they are expressing their thoughts in regards to Dr. King. And like I said, Angela is one of the speech winners, and we're going to have an opportunity to hear your winning speech later this morning. But first, I'm interested in knowing more about your experience in this speech competition. What inspired you to participate?
So when I was in 7th grade, my 7th grade teacher came over to me and she's like, here's an opportunity, do you want to take it? And I was thinking, you know, there's not so many areas in Milwaukee where young people can voice their opinions about Milwaukee and society. So I saw this as a great opportunity, not just to give off my ideas, but to listen to other students' ideas and their perspectives. And really it's a great community where you can listen to other people's ideas while also voicing your own opinions.
Absolutely. So you've got all these young people and different groups and organizations that are going to be taking center stage at Eline Hall. So what are some of the things that we can expect besides the students taking the stage?
Well, we're going to introduce the program with the United American Indian Dance Group, after which we'll have more of the students to come out and perform their speeches, display their art programs, and then we have Mo Williams and the Water Street Dance Group that's going to perform during the program, and then we're going to have national artist Dr. Daryl Akon, who's a phenomenal bassist, perform during the program.
Wow, so you've got like a full day, and this is going to begin at 1 o'clock, and it's absolutely free and open to the public, right?
Free and open to the public, starting again at 1 o'clock. There's free parking available for everyone to attend. They can either park in our parking structure, and there's plenty of parking around the building.
And it's important to really point out that Milwaukee and Atlanta, they're the only cities that have celebrated Dr. King's birthday since 1984. So needless to say, this is very huge.
Very huge. And again, we're so proud to be able to boast that we are one of the only cities, along with Atlanta, to hold the event consistently for that many years.
Yeah, and I mean, it says a lot because Atlanta is his hometown, and Milwaukee has really put so much effort into making this a community-wide event, and it's been going on 36 years now, and it keeps getting bigger and better every year. So some of the groups you mentioned include the United Indians of Milwaukee. You've got the Latino Art Strings, the Flying Tumbling Team, and the Water Street Dance, to name a few that will be participating. And really what's the most moving, like I said earlier, is to see these young people who weren't even alive when Dr. King was giving speeches and doing all that he did and has done to make a difference in our country, but to really see that they understand, and they are our future leaders. So if you would talk about your thoughts when it comes to Dr. King as the man and his different speeches, in particular the I Have a Dream speech.
I think he was an amazing man. He was a great speaker, and it's really interesting to look at Dr. King. His words are really inspiring. If you look at his speeches from 50-some years ago, his words are applicable to issues that we're facing today. I'm using quotes from him, and I'm relating it to mental health. So his words being universal, it's really impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're talking about in your speech young people having to battle mental illness.
Yes.
And for so long, mental illness has been kind of taboo. Nobody talks about it, and you know, people don't want you to know they're suffering from it. But that's changing, and having individuals like yourself point that out and talk about the need to recognize what young people go through is really important. So what made you choose mental illness as the subject you wanted to talk about?
I think it's an issue that a lot of young people are experiencing. I've seen my peers and friends, they're experiencing it in high school. I've experienced it, and I think it's a really stigmated topic. And I think the first step to working to fight this stigma against mental health is normalizing conversations about it.
Absolutely.
So I use this as an opportunity to really normalize these conversations and get it out there, because we can't fight mental health before we become comfortable talking about it.
I couldn't agree with you more. What do you think, Anthony, when you hear these young people articulate so well about things that really are of concern in our society?
Well, I'm proud of you, and
Thank you so much.
and you're absolutely right about that, because that's why we selected the theme "Your Life Has Significance," because there's so often this is something that no one really wants to talk about, but there's something you have to get through and overcome. But as you're getting through it, you have to understand that your life still has significance. So we want to not only address it, but move forward with it.
Yes, indeed. And I think it's safe to say that so many people will be proud when they hear you talk, because this is the future,
Absolutely.
right? Absolutely. So you have kids from K through 12 who participated. So
Yes.
kids of all ages. And like I said earlier, there's reading, writing, the public speaking, all of these things. And the whole goal at the end of the day is to encourage these young people in the whole field of reading and writing and being comfortable getting in front of crowds, but also really to understand Dr. King as a man.
Absolutely. To understand what he stood for and the different things he had to experience as he moved through his life, and just to understand that there's a purpose for what he's doing. Also, just the fact that we're able to give the students a platform to speak on his behalf, and to be able to actually speak at a performing arts center.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Every year you have a reception. So after the event begins at 1 o'clock and it goes on, everybody's invited to go down for a reception where there's cake and all that good stuff, right? A
That's
celebration.
correct. There's a celebration afterwards, and it gives the parents an opportunity to meet to gather with their children, and meet some of the other parents, and some of our sponsors are able to engage with some of our students in the audience. So it's just a perfect time afterwards.
And so have you had an opportunity to meet a lot of young people who aren't necessarily, your peers at school, but who have participated in this, and maybe you've connected somehow?
Yes, I've been coming to the speech contest for a couple of years. There's some returners, and it's a really nice community. These kids, they're sharing their own experiences, their perspectives on life. So you form connections with the kids there. You see some returners, you see some new people, and it's really a great place to get to know people in your community.
Okay, so I have to ask, because this is what older people ask young people all the time, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, well, I'm looking maybe becoming an attorney, working in the law.
I can see that, can't you, Anthony? With no problem at all, absolutely. So you've thought about your future, and so in your opinion, just in watching television and reading the newspaper, whatever the case, do you feel in your lifetime that we will see Dr. King's dream realized?
I think it's a really big dream, but eventually I think we can get there. I mean, it'll take some time. We're not there yet, but if we keep on remembering Dr. King and not moving past him, like looking back in the past, remembering his history, continuing to celebrate him in Milwaukee, And in Atlanta, I think we can get there eventually.
Yes, and the beautiful thing is he is celebrated all over the country, and just really having people who have been there as a part of the civil rights movement, to having young people who are learning and really taking those ideals and moving forward with their lives. It really does say it's so significant what one man was able to accomplish, and of course he would say with the help of many others.
That's
but
right.
It's just amazing when you look back and see what one man stepping out on faith was able to accomplish.
And there's so many people that he's touched as a result of all his actions.
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
impactful. Especially to see that, knowing that he'd be 91 years old today, or
Yeah.
at that time, it's awesome, and how he's touched you.
Yeah, and it blows me away when you think about he was only 39 years old when he was killed, and to think somebody is that intelligent, that sophisticated, that smart to organize people all over the country and motivate and inspire, that's amazing in itself. So is there anything else you want to tell us before we wrap up this
We
segment?
just look forward to seeing everyone down there at 1 o'clock.
Okay, and of course I will remind everyone, admission's free and open to the public. There's complimentary parking at the Marcus Center parking structure, and there's your website where people can get more information, right?
At the marcuscenter.org.
marcuscenter.org. I thank you both so much for coming by today, and continued success to you both.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anthony Smith is Director of Community Engagement and Inclusion at the Marcus Performing Arts Center, and Angela Gorton, she's a student at Ronald Reagan IB High School and the winner of the 9th and 10th grade speech contest. We're going to wrap up this segment listening to Angela's winning speech. Congratulations to her, and continued success to all of the students as they travel the road to become tomorrow's leaders. We will be right back, and here's the winner of that 9th and 10th grade speech contest.
If you break your arm, you are immediately sent to the hospital. If you have a nasty cough, you take cough medicine. If you skin your knee, you find a Band-Aid and you walk it off. But what do you do if you suffer from a mental illness? There's no pharmacy to cure depression in 5 to 7 days, no ointment to rub away negative thoughts, and no cast that can reset your psyche. The school nurse cannot give you an ice pack and make the pain go away. This is a problem that many people, especially teenagers, face every day. It's a problem that is not widely recognized as the common cold or broken arm, yet it's a problem of great importance. In the past 2 years, 2 students from my high school have died unexpectedly. This has put a huge toll on students and staff and brought to light a need for more mental health services. Daily as a high school student, I watch my friends and classmates struggle to make connections with others. I see people who think their life has no meaning. In Wisconsin, suicide is the second leading cause of death for those ages 15 to 18. Children are dying, not because of a bullet or a car accident or the use of drugs, but because of their own mental health. There's an epidemic plaguing our school systems, and that epidemic is mental illness. Students struggling with their mental health can make scary choices, including the one to end their own lives. Permanent decisions are being made based upon temporary emotions. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you're nobody. Always feel that you count, always feel that you have worth, and always feel that your life has ultimate significance." We must fight now more than ever to help these teenagers realize their lives have meaning. In order to help students struggling with mental health, we must be made aware of the signs of deteriorating mental health. This fall in my school, all students and staff were trained in QPR, which stands for Question, Persuade, and Respond. QPR is an educational program dedicated to helping people learn about the signs of suicide and other mental health issues and how to appropriately respond to them. If we as a school district work to implement QPR training in all of our schools, we will be able to catch the signs of suicide before tragedy strikes. An educational program could be the difference between life and death for some of our city's children. Understanding how to respond to those with mental health issues is an important skill that we must learn within our society. This was made clear during the spring of 2014, when Dontre Hamilton was sleeping in Red Air Park, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Dontre had a history of mental illnesses, ranging from a previous suicide attempt to schizophrenia. When Dontre was given an unexpected pat-down by 2 officers, he reacted violently. The officers did not know how to appropriately respond to behavior caused by a mental illness, and in the chaos that ensued, Dontre was shot 14 times. Dontre died that same day. The children of our city are struggling with mental health. Unless we recognize it, our children will continue to die, whether that is due to their own hands or by the hands of those who are not equipped to engage with mental illnesses. By working together to stop the problem at its roots and providing more mental health services to our children and adults of training, we can work to address this crisis. We must follow in the footsteps of Dr. King and work together to solve this issue of citywide mental illness, step by step. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the entire staircase.